28. We'll bring you up to date. Chicago had dominated most of this quarter. At one time had a 13-0 run on the Celtics. Their biggest lead has been 12 points. Larry Bird has gotten off to a slow start, but just hit a 3 moments ago. He has 6 points. And Michael Jordan, who has missed just 1 shot, has 14 points, now making 17 in this first quarter. This is Dick Stockton and Hubie Brown. The Bulls and the Celtics, Bird and Jordan, and Bird misses his 3 with 40 seconds to go.
You have to be impressed with the Chicago Bulls. They're really opening up, keeping the floor widespread, and they're slicing and picking apart the Celtics so far.
Bill Cartwright, the starting center normally for Chicago, is out with a bad back. He'll also miss the next game as well. And Chicago has been using guys like Ed Nealy, who you see right there. Stacey King, their #1 draft pick out of Oklahoma, and Will Perdue, who started this game at center. Now, without Cartwright in there, how do you think Phil Jackson's Bulls have been effective? And though they've been winning lately, they have 7 in a row.
Well, the big surprise of the first quarter is that Robert Parish and the Celtics, they did not establish any type of a low post game. So you could get by with Will Perdue, and then after 4 minutes of play, we had Stacey King. Parish had a definite mismatch, but there was no action, nothing going to him.
Parish comes in the game, and Michael Smith, who's been a big story here in Boston, goes out of the game. Smith scored 6 points, starts now at the forward position in place of Ed Pinckney before McHale comes in the game, the #1 draft pick out of BYU, and is an offensive threat. Right now it's 37-29 with 16 showing on the shot clock.
I know up until now it seems like Michael Jordan has been the entire story. It's not so. Everyone has had an opportunity to score here early for Chicago.
Craig Hodges, who's a 3-point threat, misses. McHale the rebound out to Jim Paxson. 6 seconds to go. Paxson's going to fire up a 3, and the Celtics, who were down by 12, coming back big in the waning seconds of this first quarter. Hodges fires it up and hits a 3-point basket from way out by Craig Hodges. Answers Paxson's shot, and that'll do it for the first quarter. As the action picks up, it's 40-32.
Keep an eye on Hodges here. He's the #1 3-point shooter in the league right now. Yes, indeed, Craig sending it home.
He won the shootout at the All-Star game, and that is the end of the first quarter. And folks, didn't it fly? The Chicago Bulls lead the Boston Celtics 40-32. We have completed 1 quarter here at Boston Garden, and the Bulls and the turnovers really, because of that good Chicago defense, hurt the Celtics on. As we start the second quarter, Craig Hodges is in the backcourt with B.J. Armstrong, the rookie from Iowa. Up front, it's Ed Nealy, Horace Grant, and Will Perdue.
Chicago enjoys playing pick-and-roll basketball. It's been very successful for them in the past month.
And there's an example of it. Ed Nealy, who's been a reliable backup. Bulls acquired him again from Phoenix after sending him there for Craig Hodges. Here's McHale. Inside, great pass to Paxson.
The Celtics have more movement in their offense. They're getting the ball around. Now, they came back quickly at the end of the quarter because of 3 threes. Paxson, McHale, and Larry Bird.
Bird is out there along with Paxson. John Bagley, point guard, is defending against the rookie Armstrong, who's fouled going to the hoop. The other 2 players out there for the Celtics are Robert Parish and Kevin McHale, and Jordan, with 17 points, starts the second quarter on the bench.
You know, in talking to the Chicago Bulls, they're very, very happy with their bench production. Craig Hodges feels that B.J. Armstrong and Stacey King are now playing with much more enthusiasm and a feel for the pro game. And then also he brought out the point that Ed Nealy has become a physical force for them.
You can see in the last 6 games or so how the production from the bench has come on from what it was earlier in the year.
Well, Stacey King is averaging 16 points, and Ed Nealy is averaging 7. Now, this was not evident early in the season, but when you get playing time, you do get the old thing called confidence and experience.
Bird, this is McHale fighting Grant for the loose ball, and it's still Boston's possession. Here's Kevin McHale. Did you give him his haircut?
Come on.
He says it's a low maintenance kind of hairstyle he wears. Nealy comes out to meet Bird, and Bird hits. Larry Bird, who did not get off to a strong start, now has 8 points. He and Paxson lead Boston. Horace Grant, long rebound. Grant is there. Wide open in the corner is Hodges. He hit that long three at the end of the half. McHale blocks Nealy out of bounds, and it's going to be still Chicago's ball.
Yeah, give the credit to the Chicago Bulls. Now, they've been banging away at the offensive boards. Ed Nealy is a physical force. He's a big body in there, and he moves people out.
Bulls have won 7 in a row. They're 36-20. That's the best record they've enjoyed all year. And the Celtics with 4 straight wins also. The best they have been at 12 games over the 500 mark. Bagley is guarding Armstrong.
Armstrong, a much better player, going to his left.
2 seconds on the shot clock, and Hodges. Good defense by the Celtics. They didn't give the Bulls a good shot. Nealy picking up Bird. Bird's been red hot. He's been over 50% in the last 5 games. That's the guard Armstrong, the rookie with a rebound.
This is the tempo that Chicago wants to play at. But once they get over half court, they'll run that offense to death. And they're getting good cutting from the opposite side.
Horace Grant has given him a lot more offense. Grant is averaging 14 a game. They've been using him both as a power forward and a small forward. Parish inside, beat Perdue to the baseline with a quickness.
Now, that's the first time that we have seen that today. And I'm kind of surprised, really, that they have not gone to it more often because he has such a height advantage.
It looks like the Celtics will. One of the Bulls people said that Parish is like a shark when he smells someone like Perdue, inexperienced in there. Perdue misses. Rebound McHale. Here come the Celtics down by 8 points. And Paxson cuts it down to 6 with 3 minutes going by in the second quarter.
Well, the second unit is coming in shooting with Paxson and McHale, and then leaving Bird out there with this group. They've been really knocking it down, making up for that very slow start in the early part of the first quarter.
Grant working against McHale. Tough defender is Kevin. But they got him for the foul. And that is the second team foul against Boston. And for McHale, his first personal. Didn't quite agree with the officials' call. Jack Madden, Jim Clark, and George Tolliver are the officials working this afternoon's game. The Bulls lead by 6 early here in the second quarter, and the matchup to watch is Robert Parish, the veteran, against the second line in the big people of the Bulls.
Now you'll see in this situation here, as Parish goes to post up, he's going to run a drop step to the baseline. Now watch his left arm as he clears out Perdue. There it is right there. Now that is, they have that available to the Celtics at any time. There is no way that Will Perdue or Stacey King can play Parish in a low post. Now up until now, Parish has 4 field goals, but 3 of them have come off of offensive rebounding. I think that if they would go to him more often, the outside game would open up and make it easier for themselves.
Michael Smith, who started the game at forward as Jordan remains on the bench. Smith is in the game for the Boston Celtics. 6'10" rookie out of Brigham Young, was the 13th pick in the draft. There's Smith. And for Chicago, Scottie Pippen is back in the game at forward. He's the second leading scorer for the Bulls behind Jordan's 33. And on the free throw line is Horace Grant. He's been bothered somewhat by a sore shoulder. He took an elbow from Scottie Pippen in a game last Tuesday. There is Pippen, who himself, since the All-Star game, has been inconsistent. He hasn't been the Scottie Pippen that they're used to.
Well, he has a dislocation of the middle finger on his left hand. And I know you say, well, that does nothing to do with his shooting. But Scottie Pippen's game is off the dribble and how well he switches hands and he maneuvers in the fast break in the open floor. So anytime you have a nagging injury like that, it's going to derail you from playing to your potential.
Dennis Johnson is in there along with Smith, McHale, Parish, and Paxson. Here comes Smith with a great move to the hoop. Michael Smith, who was recommended to the Celtics by Ralph Miller, who coached at Iowa and at Oregon State. He was the one who first spotted him.
Michael Smith gives them the outside shooting. He had 3 long jump shots in the first quarter, the only Celtic to really get it going, plus a great pass.
Scottie Pippen missed his first attempt. Plenty of time on the shot clock for the Bulls.
On the road, Dick, you don't like to shoot early here. You want to get yourself going, get the high percentage shot.
Hodges for three. Parish gets the rebound. Good position. 5 rebounds already for Robert Parish.
The guy with the ball, Jimmy Paxson, is having a very nice game. Came in very productive off the bench for the Celtics.
He had been a forgotten man for a long while in the Celtics scheme of things.
Matter of fact, 7 games did not play.
Parish working against Perdue. This is the matchup the Celtics won, and Parish takes him to the hole and has 10 points.
Yes, the Chief has made a few of those in his day over a lot of very, very big, tall, talented shot blockers.
Paxson picking up Armstrong. It's a 3-point game now. The Bulls led by as many as 12 in the first quarter. Pippen nowhere to go. Armstrong fires from the corner. Grant and Perdue crashing the offensive glass. Jordan's going to come back in the game momentarily. The Bulls have missed their last 5 shots. Lead is virtually squandered here. Setting a screen is Grant. Pippen in the lane, and they'll call a holding foul against the Celtics. It'll be their 4th team foul of the second quarter.
Now this is vintage Robert Parish. Watch how he catches down inside, comes into the lane, see he's feeling out the defense. Now there is your baby hook shot. He can do that all day long.
Meanwhile, Kevin McHale has picked up his 2nd foul. Parish looking for a big game today as Boston has eaten into Chicago's lead.
We'd like to show you a difficult pick and roll situation for the Celtics. Now they're having trouble guarding this. You'll see here comes the pick and roll. Now the defensive player has a problem right here. We want to show you that the defense today has been fighting over the top, Jimmy Paxson. Now that's okay, but once you get to the middle of the floor, the player can regroup himself, or he can go underneath. And here we go. Now up until now, the Celtics have not handled this well, because what it forces is the rest of the players to come in and help you out defensively, opening up the perimeter game for the Chicago Bulls.
Do you see any difference with their offense from earlier in the season?
Oh, they've definitely changed, Dick. They've really gone to a lot of this 2-man play, and also the floor is more wide open. But then again, you have to remember, Cartwright has been out with a strained and back spasm, strained back muscles. He's missed a lot of play, so the emphasis has got to, change here.
Michael Jordan back in the game, winds up on the floor, misses the shot, and another rebound for Parish. Nearly halfway through the second quarter, Celtics making a comeback run, trailing by 3, and Boston still has the ball. Dennis Johnson playing fewer minutes, and the big thing as far as Johnson goes, for those who have followed him in his career, not playing down the stretch in crunch time as he did in the past.
Well, anytime that you're in there 14 years, like he says, I'll do whatever is required of me, but I don't necessarily have to like it.
That's for sure. Any competitor wouldn't. Celtics maintain possession. Paxson fires up and misses a 3. And here's Jordan. He's had a long rest on the bench and leads everyone with 17. Pippen. Dennis Johnson played him perfectly, and yet Scottie Pippen made a tough shot, to say the least.
Dennis is saying, give me a break. I'm just shaking my head. I can't get you to take a worse shot than the one you attempted.
Pippen accidentally hit Johnson in the face, inadvertent. There is the pick and roll. McHale this time, but Parish is there for the follow-up.
See, the Chief has been there all day. Celtics started out, horrendous, like 4 for 20, but the Chief has been picking up a lot of action on the offensive boards.
He's got 12 points to lead the Celtics, 7 rebounds, so he's off to a terrific start here. Stacey King setting a screen. Pippen again runs the lane, and Scottie Pippen with good movement across the lane, getting a couple of hoops. He's got 10 in the game.
But they're still difficult shots. That was a tough thing. Give Scottie his due now. He's made 2 really tough ones on the move.
Smith around the screen and is fouled by Horace Grant. So we're going to get a good look now at Michael Smith. Grant committing the foul. Smith, by the way, was an All-America quarterback in Hacienda Heights, California, and was recruited to Brigham Young, believe it or not, for football purposes by Mike Holmgren, who is the San Francisco 49ers offensive coordinator. And of course, at BYU couldn't play both sports and stuck to basketball, and here he is.
Well, I think he's made a wise decision. Now, since he has been in the starting lineup, he's averaging 18 points and six rebounds. But the big issue here is that it gives them another passer and another three-point shooter, and that's what makes them more dangerous now.
You know what makes the Celtics more dangerous is Reggie Lewis, who just came in the game. He started at guard, and he too has been on the bench for a while. Lewis is guarding Jordan now with 8 on the shot clock. Jordan with a great step in. A rare miss of a layup. Crowd still buzzing over that one. 3-point lead. Good passing by the Celtics. Lewis misses, and a rebound by Stacey King.
See, by going into Parish initially, you're making the Chicago defense double and triple team. And when that happens, then you're going to get open shots.
Here's Jordan. He's got an open shot, and he has been ice cold. And I have to tell you honestly, it's cold out here in Boston Garden. The ice is underneath, and it's kind of chilly. As a foul going to the line. Perdue committing the foul. And it'll be Michael Smith. Phil Jackson, who's given the Bulls, I guess, compared to Doug Collins, what they say is a calmer style.
Well, we'll see at playoff time.
That's right.
Because that's last year. It's the first time that a low-ranked team in the playoffs ever got to the third round, meaning the conference finals, and Chicago did that. Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens this year.
Actually, they gave the Pistons a bigger fight than anyone. They took them to 6 games in that Eastern Conference final. We know L.A. had the injury problems with Scott and Magic Johnson, but Chicago did exceptionally well last year. Ed Nealy is back in the game, so Chicago has Jordan and Pippen. It's a big team out there with Nealy, Stacey, King, and Grant, and that ball goes through. So Jordan missed 3 straight and gets on the right side.
With this unit out on the floor now, like we say, if they keep going into Parish, it's going to open up the outside game, and then Reggie Lewis off the dribble.
Parish fighting for the loose ball. Grant gets it away, and it's a Grant and Pippen show. Horace Grant with the stuff. Boston came within 1, and now it's a 5-point Chicago lead.
See, in the early going, anytime that the Celtics would miss, the Chicago would blow it out and beat him in the open floor, getting 10 very, very quick fast break scores.
Parish pass goes awry, and here's Pippen. Goes up without the ball. Losing it out of bounds is Grant, and they say it was last touched by the Celtics. Celtics have struggled a little bit at home this year. They have lost 8, won 19, and the worst they've had in the last 10 years at the Boston Garden Court, losing 9 a year ago. Jordan will go to the line and shoot 2. Phoenix leading Cleveland. And Syracuse, as you saw earlier here on CBS, with an overtime victory over Georgetown. Big game. Purdue over Michigan, 38-34, and Duke and North Carolina are all tied up. Reggie Lewis committing his 3rd personal foul. And he'll come out of the game, as will Parish. McHale and Paxson check back in.
Well, Michael Jordan is having a typical year for him as far as getting to the foul line. You know, he's such an excellent foul shooter at 85%, but he's getting there almost 9 times a game. Now, at playoff time, that usually elevates a little bit up to about 13 or 14.
Winding down to 3 minutes to go in the first half. Smith defensed well by Grant, and a loose ball foul called against the Celtics, and Dennis Johnson complaining about that one.
Well, Dennis got in there and used his forearm to clear people out to get that offensive board that time. But, you know, what you see, you'll see it here right now. Here goes his shot up, and then you'll see he pushed Michael Jordan off. But, you know, when you're Dennis Johnson, you've been a 9-time all-defensive guy. You know, you're saying here, come on now, where's my respect? You don't get to do that as many times as I did unless I want to put my body on some people.
It's kind of earned that.
But I do believe that it might have been maybe not called if it was anybody else other than the guy on the line.
Jordan now with 22 points. And there's some three-quarter pressure by the Bulls we've seen for the first time in this game.
They'll go to this, and they also have a nice half-court trap.
Smith. Follow-up. McHale. Stacey King finally holds on. King will get a lesson today going against the great front line of the Boston Celtics. Pippen. Great step. Down the lane, draws the foul. Pippen looks like he's snapping out of the slump that he's experienced since the All-Star break. And a timeout called by the Bulls. 2:37 to go in the first half. Bulls have led all the way.
Right now we're going to show you Michael Jordan is going to make a pass over here to Scottie Pippen, but watch the pressure that is on Jim Paxson, because Jim Paxson is running at a guy who is a three-point threat. Now as he comes at him, you'll see the head fake. Watch Pippen now give him the head fake to get him to get up. Now Scottie Pippen is at his game, the slicing penetration. But remember, anytime that you have an outside threat, which Pippen is, he's already taken close to 83s. Paxson or anyone guarding him must come at him to take away the potential three-point shot.
Pippen has 10. He's the second top scorer on the Bulls to Jordan's 22. Michael Smith committed that last foul, his first. Celtics in the penalty, and Chicago still has 2 fouls to give. Pippen hits the free throw. The Bulls with the best home court record this year at 23-2. Still trail Detroit by 6 games, 5 games under on the road.
See, this guy on the line right now, you know, is averaging 38 minutes a game. That's only 1 minute behind Michael Jordan. But they need him in that lineup, not only because of the scoring, but because of the rebounding. He gets 7 a game as a small forward, and that is a ton.
Bulls are on a 9-0 run in the last minute and 30 seconds. And they're up by 10. The Celtics had cut the lead to 1. Nealy is on Bird. They go into McHale against the rookie. The double team, basket good, and a foul. King got some help, but forget about it against McHale when he comes up with his multitude of moves.
Yeah, but you know, we're watching one of the best in the game. Watch how he takes the body contact. You see, he takes the double team to contact. As soon as it hit, he knows now the presence of getting off the good shot attempt.
Foul was on Scottie Pippen, and a 3-point conversion for McHale, who has started only 2 games this year for the Celtics.
Thriving on his new role, or not new role, the old role as being, you know, the fire extinguisher man.
Years ago, he was the best 6th man. Again, he is now. Pippen finds Jordan open. McHale on a switch finds himself guarding Jordan. Pippen crashing the board. Scottie's having a terrific first half. Under 2 minutes to play. Boston down by 7. Bird from the corner, and it's a 5-point affair. Larry Bird with 10.
22nd timeout now by the Bulls, but you have to give Nealy his due. Nealy has been all over Larry Bird trying to take away the 3-point opportunities, but in that situation he went back in to help out, and that's the first time that he's been burned. You'll see on this penetration, see, Nealy had to leave Bird. Now as he runs at him, too late. One of the best of all time in the perimeter shooting, and Bird has been on a roll.
So you wouldn't trade him either, huh? There were stories all over Boston a couple of weeks ago with both newspapers saying maybe this is a good time to trade Bird. This was before the trading deadline, and of course people are backing up on that. How do you trade a legend?
Well, you know what's sad about this whole thing? That somebody would have to ask Bird to defend himself. I mean, you know, come on, let's stop this. He was only MVP 3 times in the 80s, and they expect him to be the same guy after laying off 1 year.
John Paxson misses from the corner.
He says, you know, I make a bad pass now or I miss a shot. They say, you know what? He never did that before.
Paxson got it into Michael Smith, and it's a 3-point game. Smith has 14 points to lead the Celtics. Parish has 12, and Paxson and Bird each with 10.
Hey, by the way, how about the leg work on this guy Smith at 6'10"?
Stacey King had some good moves, the Celtics. And Johnson throws it away into the hands of Pippen, and it's a 3-on-1 Chicago. And Pippen put a fake on Bird. And now Boston coming back with a minute to go, down by 5. Larry Bird was faked out of his shoes by Scottie Pippen. Ten on the shot clock. Bird turns around and misses against Pippen. Jordan has scored 22, 17 coming in the first quarter. Good pass to Paxson, who hits the open shot. He's been a good off guard or point guard, whatever the role is that they use for Chicago.
All year, Paxson has been in the top 10 shooters in the league, and that's very difficult to do from a guard position because the majority of his shots are long-range jumpers.
14 on the shot clock. You're looking at the game clock. The remainder of the first half, I should say. Bird with 14 seconds, 64 to 59.
Larry's got the feel now. He started out 3 for 11, but he's honing in.
Still about 40%. Every time the Celtics have cut into Chicago's lead, the Bulls have had an answer, and they don't get the shot off, and that'll do it. Traveling, in fact, before, and that is the end of the first half. With the score, the Bulls 64, the Celtics 59. Scottie Pippen seems to be quicker than anyone that can play him out there, and we know what Michael Jordan can do. Is this team, even with the changes Jimmy Rodgers made, still too quick for this team?
Well, you see, the thing that you like about that is that once they get into the heart of the Celtic defense, then they can kick the ball out, and they do have the excellent perimeter shooters in Paxson and in Hodges. So I think that, you know, as you look back at the Celtics, they are a terrific half-court defensive team from the top of the circle back, so you must break them down off the dribble if you do not have a low-power game, which they do not today.
And as you pointed out, Larry Bird, who got off to a horrendous start shooting-wise, really came on toward the end of the quarter. He finished with 12 points, hit only 5 of 15, and you kind of have a feeling Larry Bird isn't going to stay at 33 the whole game shooting.
No, I bet he's been cooking, and he knows it's there. And anytime that you're a proven scorer like he is over the last 6, you know your shot is there. You're shooting up over the high 50 percentages, so nothing's going to derail him. That's why the Chicago Bulls are trying to play him so tight so that he doesn't get the three-point range going.
John Paxson and Michael Jordan at guard. Scottie Pippen, Horace Grant, and Will Perdue up front. Posting up is Jordan off the get-go of the second half. And it's off the side of the backboard. Celtics down by 5.
See, in games over the last couple of weeks, Michael Jordan has been posting up quite a bit. Now, today, that's his first opportunity.
Reggie Lewis and Dennis Johnson in the backcourt. There's Bird hitting the first shot. You know he's going to come on. He's got 14 points to tie Michael Smith for the club lead.
Well, it took him a long time to get that off, didn't it?
At least 8 or 9. Jordan guarded by Dennis Johnson.
There it is.
Paxson wide open again. That's what he's been doing all year for the Bulls.
See, that's why I say with Jordan and Pippen off the dribble, it really opens up the other people. And Paxson has been a beneficiary of all of this up to date. He's having a sensational season.
Let's see whether the Celtics can take advantage of Parish against Perdue in the middle. Bird goes up strong and gets the layup. Parish had 12 points and 7 rebounds and good shooting. But Larry Bird with 2 baskets, and now the Celtics scoring leader here. 66-63. Pippen leans in against Bird. Rebound Parish. Celtics last lead, they did have a lead earlier, was at 4-2 early on.
This is the silent man today, right there.
Lewis with only 4 points, came in averaging 16, and he is developing into a confident and assured and cool scorer. Timeout called by Phil Jackson, a 20-second timeout, as the Bulls lead has been shaved to 1.
Reggie is the slasher, the only guy out there that can really take you off the dribble from the Celtics at with a quick pace. Now Bird can do it. It just takes him a little longer, and then he will play off of it. But Reggie, once he takes you off that dribble, usually will force his way to the basket and get it up.
Played at Northeastern under Jim Calhoun. And now Calhoun, as you know, led Connecticut to a 3-way tie in the Big East. Syracuse got the top seed by beating Georgetown today, but a great year for Connecticut, and Jim Calhoun, his best product ever, this man here, Reggie Lewis.
Well, you know, they were good for one another. Jim Calhoun had terrific teams for many years up there. Reggie fit in and really had a sensational junior and senior year.
Bird on Paxson's miss, and the Celtics are looking for their first lead since the early moments of this game. Good back.
battle right here. Pippen and Bird.
Smith fighting, but Grant wins the rebound. Celtics with an opportunity to take the lead. Goes by the boards that time.
Nice.
No look pass, and it was Jordan to Will Perdue.
Wasn't that beautiful?
It was a beautiful no look pass, as good as he's ever thrown. The lead is 3. And Bird gets hit in the face. And we have an elbow foul. Let's watch this great pass.
Well, watch the pass underneath the basket. See Parish trying to help out. That's why anytime that you're a big man and your center playing you leaves to help out on a double team, step to the front of the rim.
Bird trying to shake off that elbow from Scottie Pippen, who gets hit with his second personal.
Well, they call that. That's all part of front court play in this non-contact sport.
Jordan fights through the screen nicely, but a reach-in foul called against Will Perdue. At the conclusion of today's game, Hubie and I will select the Miller Lite Player of the Game, and in conjunction with the award, Miller Lite will present a check in the amount of $1,000 in the player's name to the National Multiple Sclerosis Society. That foul was on Michael Jordan, not Perdue, so Jordan has 2 now. Bird finding Lewis. Missed the layup. A great feed by Larry Bird. The lead is still 3 for the Bulls. Grant and the rebound by Bird. Here's Dennis Johnson. 7 on the shot clock. Dennis going strong to the hoop. He went in against a sea of red jerseys, and now the Bulls on a fast break. Pulling up is Paxson. Now let's see if the Celtics can get anything going. Chicago back defensively. Michael Smith. Smith now with 16 points.
Doesn't he have a beautiful touch? You know, he's 6'10", and he runs like he's 6'6". Outstanding control of the basketball, whether dribbling, catching, and then shooting.
And a sense of the game that's unmistakable. 7 on the clock.
Nice.
Perdue from Jordan again. A beautiful pick and roll underneath that time.
What a difficult pass. That was a wrap around the defensive player, right on the money to Will Perdue.
Out of bounds, still Boston ball. So we're seeing Michael Jordan with some nifty passes, like you'll see it again. On the clock. Posting up his Bird against Pippen. 18 for Larry Bird. He had 6 after the first quarter. 70-69. Again, the Celtics have come within 1.
Big thing on the road. Take your time, high percentage shots, and go to your key sets.
Grant goes up. Great defensive play by Lewis. Chicago gets a new clock.
Smart basketball. Back it out and get what you want.
And traveling called against Grant. Well, they're playing the pace they want to play right now, but they turn it over.
Grant was over anxious that time. He kind of felt that he could take his man off the dribble. That's why he jumped out into that corner position.
Nearly 7 minutes to go in the third quarter, and the Celtics are looking for their first lead since it was 4-2.
Yeah, this is good. Grant was trying to stop Michael Smith from posting up down there, and our referee Jimmy Clark really picked that out. You'll see a little chicken fight going on down in here. See, Smith's on the move, trying to post up. Grant is now going to push with the one hand, and then you can't do that. I'm sorry, that's a minor mugging.
That's all right. They'll do it again.
Of course. Next time he's liable to the floor.
3 team fouls, and they'll have it going the other way now. Robert Parish with the offensive foul, his second personal.
Well, you see Jimmy Rodgers upset because that has been a good play for them today. They've had 3 scores off of that pick. We have 2-man basketball right here. You'll see the pick is going to come up behind Dennis Johnson. And as Michael Jordan goes around him, watch Parish. Now the wraparound pass. Beautiful. More important, the catch of the basketball by Will Perdue. Had his hands up anticipating the pass because he knows Michael unselfish down in the lane.
Michael Jordan has 8 assists already in this game. And in talking with Johnny Bach, the Bulls assistant coach, one of the assistants before the game, he says basically he's the best player. He's our best post-up man. He's our best defensive player. He's really our best rebounder in crunch time. And you can add all the rest. And now he's added the three-point shot to his repertoire this year.
Are you trying to tell me he's having a nice year or what?
Interesting. The question always is, he always gets off to a slow start in games, likes to get the others going. And in a game like this without Cartwright, they needed him early, and he came through.
Oh, yeah.
1-point lead. Smith got a hand on the pass intended for Perdue. Still Chicago ball, and they have 10 seconds to attempt a shot. Here he goes with a scoop. Parish. That's his 10th rebound of the game. The Chief with 6.5 to go in the third quarter, and the Celtics again can wrest the lead away from the Bulls.
This is very good. But down inside the Parish. There it is. Now, let's see. See the Bulls? They have to pay attention to the Chief.
And Johnson gets open and gets the shot, and Boston leads. You got to hit the open shot in situations like that.
He's been here for so long, the rims
The rims say, oh, Dennis, it's you.
That's right.
Why didn't you tell me? Right? Chicago has really slumped shooting-wise, as you can see, since the first quarter, when they were nearly 70%. 5 on the shot clock. Paxson just inside the three-point line hits, and the Bulls again lead.
That was a tough shot because Reggie Lewis got a piece of the ball that time.
Low post, Lewis posting up against Paxson. Lewis has missed a couple of tough ones inside today.
Well, he rushed that one.
Pippen working his way in the lane, as he loved the lane today.
Don't you like the way he goes in by the numbers and elevates by the... He's in, rolling, falling, and he comes out of there with something good, even though it isn't pretty.
Playing with more verve today than in any game since the All-Star break. Here's Michael Smith. Veteran getting the loose ball. Wild shot by Bird out of bounds. Chicago has it. Michigan in front of Perdue by 1 point in the second half of that very important Big Ten game. And North Carolina leading Duke in the second half. Kevin McHale has replaced Parish in the Boston lineup. So up front it's Smith, McHale, and Bird. For the Celtics on defense.
Plenty of time.
Perdue banks it in over McHale. So Will Perdue had a career high numbers in the last few games out, making his 9th start of the season.
You know what's nice today? He's playing with a lot of confidence. He told me before that I got in a hole in my first year because I didn't come in and knock everybody out. So it's up to me to get out of this hole, and I'm getting a chance to play.
Getting a chance to defend against McHale. Better players than Will Perdue have come up the same way. But you know, it's interesting about Perdue because he played the fewest minutes of any #1 pick last year.
Well, that's hard on you, and you know, especially he came out of there as the athlete of the year in the SEC.
What a great feed. The basket counts, and once again, threading the needle, Michael Jordan finding Will Perdue. And what a beneficiary he's been today of those.
See, now you're going to see this play. See, the key thing is that when you play with a passer like Jordan, you've got to be ready. Now, you see his hands were up above his waist. That way, you're always going to get 2 hands on the catch. He's never going to surprise you, no matter how hard he throws you the basketball. You know, you play with Michael Jordans and the great point guards in this league. You can stay around a long time if you know when to leave your man and how to spot up so that you create the passing angle.
Dennis Johnson going strong to the hook and lays it in. Perdue made 2 free throws. There was no basket, of course, before that. And Perdue has 10 points and 1 rebound. But back and forth we go as the Celtics, who led by a point, trailing by 3 now, with 3:40 remaining in the third quarter. Perdue setting a screen, and Jordan Misses the shot. Jordan still stuck at 22. That's what he had at the half. Not scored in this quarter. Trying to draw the foul was Perdue. Jack Madden's been around a while, but Lewis. McHale had 9 points.
See, they're not as fluid as they were in that first quarter. You know, they're struggling to make something happen out of this type of a game.
3 seconds on the shot clock, and Horace Grant in the desperation shot hits it, and it's 80-77. Michael Jordan has missed all 3 shots he's attempted in this quarter. Fall away by McHale. It was Lewis who got the last basket. McHale misses here. Here comes Chicago, nearly 2.5 to go. Paxson finds Grant, basket, and a good pass from the corner, and John Paxson. 11 points now for Horace Grant. All 5 Chicago starters are in double figures.
Yeah, they're really distributing the ball beautifully, Dick, and they're constantly looking for the open guy, and then if it's not there, he will find the next pass. 2 passes, good shot, field goal. This replay is going to show you the value of penetration off the dribble. Here we have Michael Jordan coming in here now. As we stop, you're going to see that Paxson's man is all the way back in here trying to help out. Now, once this pass is made, and you'll see Smith go out into that area to play Paxson because he's such a good shooter, this opens up into a one-on-one low post game. So you might not get that shot, but you get this shot, and along with it comes a little dipsy-do. A little, yes, pump fake layup. Beautiful.
Stacey King has come in the game for the Chicago Bulls. That's Joe Klein on the Celtic bench. He and Ed Pinckney have not played at all today. There's Pinckney. Both of them came over in the trade for Danny Ainge and really did a good job backing up last year, and Pinckney starting most of this year. But with the new changes, they are getting very little, if any, playing time now.
Well, they're giving more minutes up front to McHale and Parish naturally, and then you have to find time for Michael Smith. That takes Pinckney's time, plus part of Klein's time, because they like to play Smith along with Bird and Smith along with McHale.
That's a great expression from Jimmy Rodgers after that botched up play. 82-77 Chicago. 2 minutes to go in the third quarter.
You don't mind when plays are botched up if it was by good defense, not when you throw it away. What do we call that, on forced errors?
That's right. Grant from Jordan. Jordan is doing a great job feeding. Keep in mind he hasn't scored any points in the third quarter. But he has 10 assists in the game, so he's getting it done other ways here.
Well, the value of the penetrator who can make the pass.
3-point attempt by Smith misses. Loose ball foul will be called against Chicago.
See, this is a part of the game that very few people talk about with Michael. See, the guys who play with him know that when he penetrates, if you will just get to your spot, Michael's going to get the basketball to you.
Reggie Lewis picks up his 4th foul. Substitutions for Boston. John Bagley and Jim Paxson enter the game for the Celtics. Lewis goes out, as does Dennis Johnson, so a new backcourt tandem. Robert Parish checks in. There's Parish, who so far today has scored 12 points, and Michael Smith, the rookie, goes out. He has scored 16. There's the time remaining in the third quarter. Celtics have led once since the early moments of the game. Grant over McHale. Bird to Bagley.
See, in the last 5 minutes, the Celtics have not been able to get down inside.
Parish in the lane hits. Robert Parish going to town. Celtics do not have an especially quick team on the court right now.
One of the very few opportunities inside of 15 feet that the Celtics have had.
Pippen misses a 3, and the rebound by Parish again. Under a minute to go in the third quarter. Here's Paxson going in against Pippen, and the foul. That'll be the 14th foul against the Bulls in this quarter, but a 2-shot situation for Jim Paxson.
You know, with the present-day players that they have here with the Celtics, very seldom do you see the old famous fast break or jumping out of bounds after a score, long pass, running, you know, try to get the advantage. But Jim Paxson is one of the best players back early in his career at Portland. You talk about an open floor guy who can complete the play, and it's nice to see him having a type of game that he's having today.
Craig Hodges in for Paxson, so the three-point shooter is giving John Paxson a well-deserved rest. See what Hodges does here with a three-point game. They got 13 on the shot clock.
Nice play.
Jordan got free. This is the layup. That's the second time today. And they're going to call the loose ball foul against Jordan.
Well, he was exasperated that he missed the shot. He tried to get a little too fancy in there this time. You'll see he's looking to post up, but now when the ball goes back to the top, he pushes Paxson off. You see, he was worried about the shot block by Parish that time. Got too cute and then wanted to try to make up for it with a steal.
And a bad foul for many ways. That's his third, but also it puts the Bulls over the limit. And now Parish will go on the line and shooting two. Michael Jordan shaking his head. You know, you wonder as you look at Jordan, all the things he does, how long this guy is going to be able to play at the level that he can play, mentally and physically.
Probably as long as he wants.
Well, sooner or later, you know, things start to wear down, and Jordan.
Didn't they say that about Kareem when he was about 32?
Well, but Kareem's style wasn't the same as this guy.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, this guy's playing in air. I mean, that's what they got.
I'm just kidding around. Look, we understand that this whole game, he's a ball handler. He's a great defensive player. He's in the air all the time.
And he scores a few points. First basket of the third quarter. And the lead is 3. Shot clock is off, and the Celtics setting up their last attempt. McHale double team. Batted away. Good defensive play with 1 second exactly remaining.
Great play that time by Grant, coming out of nowhere. You know, the Bulls are not a shot blocking team, but they do cover the floor pretty good. And by that we mean quickness of foot.
And that'll do it. The buzzer sounds. They surrounded Parish effectively. And that's the end of the third quarter with the score. The Bulls 86 and the Celtics 83. And we'll return to the Boston Garden after this message and a word from your local station. What's interesting in the game is that the Chicago Bulls have held the Celtics even scoring inside today.
Well, down below the foul line, it's tied 36-36, and they're getting it different ways. You know, you got to give the Chicago credit because they're not panicking. Michael is beating people off the dribble. They do not have a back to the basket low post game, but they have penetration. I give dish-offs to you, and you react by the follow and attacking the basket.
Celtics have won 4 in a row. It's been 2 years since they won more than 4 straight games. So this could be a watershed kind of game for them. And for the Bulls, they have won 7 straight, and that's the most they've done in 7 years. Both teams came in playing their best ball of the year.
Well, you have to love it, what the Celtics did out on that real tough Western trip, playing 8 games against teams over 500 that would be in the playoffs. They go 4-4. The team came together. Larry Bird says we're playing better defense. We have better ball movement, and no one guy has to get the job done.
Bagley and Paxson at guard. Bird, McHale, and Parish up front. Errant pass and 2-on-1 break. Jordan will go in left-handed this time, and Michael with 26 points, the game-high scorer. The top scorer for the Celtics is Bird with 18.
You know, you look in there, Michael fumbled that ball that time. He really wanted to pass it. He ends up with a left-handed shot.
Bird comes right back. He's got 20. Craig Hodges and Jordan at guard. Stacey King at Nealy and Horace Grant the forwards. Crowd yelling for a violation. Won't matter. Turnover nonetheless. Bagley has been injured, missed 22 games earlier this year.
Now, right now we have King down inside on Parish.
Paxson. Parish gets the offensive rebound. McHale. McHale again. One of the rare times the Celtics will miss 4 opportunities like that.
But they have such a height advantage with McHale and Parish in there. They put those long arms up. Even if you block them out, they can get the ball over the top of you.
Jordan uses a Nealy screen, and Michael now with his second basket. Third quarter was a quiet quarter for him, but it looks like he's going to come out cooking here in the fourth.
See, that's two-man basketball without pick and roll. I pass it to you and I come off, and they've got to honor that.
Bird with a 3-point basket. His second of the game, and Larry Bird now with 23. That's his season's average. Hodges comes back. Bird fighting with Nealy for the loose ball. Might have been a good Celtic break if he had won it. Instead, the Bulls leading by 2.
Up until now, they have not cracked all day. They've been able to take the surges and then gain control.
Bagley fouls Jordan, and that'll be the first foul. Notice how the Celtics, who got off to a woeful shooting start, have really creeped up almost even with Chicago. Jordan only 6 points in the second half, but he's been a passing wizard today. Parish with a quiet, outstanding game. No surprise with Cartwright out of there. It's 90-88 in favor of Chicago with that much time remaining in the fourth quarter. Many teams are wearing the black bands. The Celtics have it in memory of Joan Cohen, the wife of Alan Cohen, the vice chairman of the board of the Boston Celtics. She passed away at the beginning of the season, and so the Celtics wear it in her memory. B.J. Armstrong, number 10, has come in for the Bulls. He'll be used as a point guard, giving Michael Jordan a breather here. So the two rookies, King and Armstrong, are in there at the same time. Along with Pippen, Nealy, and Hodges. Pippen's shot finds a way, huh?
Finds a way is right. That was a tough jump hook.
Traveling call.
Armstrong really surprised Bagley that time. You know, it's interesting that the Celtics, once Ainge left here, then you had Brian Shaw, and then Shaw left. They do not come down court and pressure you. But that time,
and now an offensive foul called against the Bulls.
So that time we saw the surprise element of the Bulls, them coming down and putting the pressure on you and shocking you into a turnover.
A few words to the officials from Phil Jackson. Ed Nealy called with the foul. That's his first. 2.5 minutes gone by in the final quarter. 92-88, the Bulls have been clinging to that lead throughout. Lost it just once in the second half. Off of Parish's leg out of bounds, and the Bulls have it.
Excellent defense that time by Pippen. Pippen got a hand in there and disrupted the shot as Larry was bringing it up with his left hand to get it into the right hand to cock it. Pippen got the hand in.
Chicago has withstood every charge by the Celtics this afternoon. Armstrong against Bagley. Here's Pippen. Long rebound. Parish has it, and there's the long pass to Bird. And Bird misses. Didn't have anyone down there with him, and the Bulls quickly got back defensively.
Got an advantage.
3-point attempt by Craig Hodges. Crashing the boards of Pippen. McHale finds Paxson. Hodges catches him, goes right into Nealy. Good defense by Nealy. Banging going on, and finally they'll call a Chicago foul on B.J. Armstrong as he ran into McHale.
That was a tough shot that time by Paxson. Excellent transition defense by Chicago. They really hustled back that time. Now here you'll see. Hodges gets right in front, and he chases him right into Nealy.
Bird cutting across the lane. 25 for Larry Bird.
They've had difficulty stopping that all day today. Bird has been he's been able to get open and get the jumper off.
Hodges left open for 3, and he's got it. 2 points now. It was inside the line. Bagley being bothered at midcourt. The lead is 4, and foul call, no basket. Here's Armstrong talking to Johnny Bach before the game. He says, you know, there are flaws. Everyone has them. He says, B.J. Armstrong has no flaws. He's down there early. He's always there in the coffee shop. He's a quiet kid, a good kid. He says, we have not found one flaw in B.J. Armstrong yet.
He's a good young player, and he's going to get much better.
Good feed. McHale.
I don't want to underestimate that pass.
No.
That was really a beautiful pass, right on the money.
There's a three-point shot by Craig Hodges.
See, once again, the penetration. Pippen has been able to get in that lane, and they can kick it out to Hodges all day. He's just been leaving that shot on the rim. It's there, though.
Pippen picking up Bird. Won't let him shoot. Parish with a fall away.
No way can King stop him. He just shoots over the top of him every time.
Pippen going strong behind the back pass to King out of bounds. So we're seeing some good passing by the Boston Celtics the last 2 times down the court. Jordan back in for the Bulls, and Armstrong sits down.
Now watch how easily Bird makes this play. Nealy has to commit to the man. Once again, you have the player stepping up and creating the passing lane himself.
Knocked away from Jordan. Saved beautifully by Nealy. Pippen throws up an air ball, and Jordan knocks it away from Parish. And they're going to call the loose ball foul against Parish. Great hustle by first Nealy to keep it in bounds, and then Michael Jordan, who knocked it away from Parish, who then fouled.
Let's check the replay. See, it's a tough shot. You get the air ball right here. Now, Michael knocks it away. That's what the crowd is all upset about. And then he also holds him off with his left arm.
Parish held off Jordan.
Well, they call it a stalemate. You're right, yeah.
A draw. Under 7 minutes to go in the fourth. Bagley picking up Hodges, and traveling called against Scottie Pippen. But Bagley is not going to let Hodges get that 3 off so easily now.
Now, you give Bagley a lot of credit. He really ran hard at him, and he did not open it up where he could put it down on the floor. Excellent position defense.
We've got a 3-point game between 2 hot teams here at the Boston Garden. Back at Boston Garden, there's our story with Chicago leading and that much time remaining. Bulls have won 7 in a row after having lost 5 of their previous 6 all on the road. But what about the upcoming 8 games they've got?
Well, as you look at that, the top 6 teams are all playoff people. But in March and April, they only play 10 road games, 16 at home. That is a major plus when you're running at a team like Detroit. They're trying to make up the ground. So March and April, much in their favor. But the next 10 days, 11 days are key to them.
And they have the best home record in the NBA. They are 23-2 at Chicago Stadium. So even though the games are tough, most of them are going to be at home. Big edge.
Another team in the East, Philadelphia, also has an additional 6 home games versus the road.
How about the Sixers? That's a team very few people gave any hope to when the season started. McHale is yelling for a foul. He had Jordan and Grant around him, but it's still going to be Boston's possession with 9 seconds to attempt a shot.
Now, you know, it wouldn't be Kevin McHale if he wasn't complaining. 9 minutes, he got it on hand.
I thought after the haircut, maybe he wouldn't complain anymore.
See, there's your double team.
No basket. Traveling call. Parish took steps. No hoop. Turns it over again, and the Celtics have really turned it over today to a great deal.
You see, he gets a double team here. He moves back, and then he did move his pivot foot. See, the Celtics are all upset because the referee, Jack Madden, on the other side of the floor made the call, except for one thing. He did walk.
That's always the bottom line. Chicago still by 3. Lewis on Jordan. 7 on the clock. Rebound Parish. I think Parish is an aroused player right now.
Great pass.
To Larry Bird. Jordan tried to intercept it. Might have gotten a piece of it. But Larry Bird from Parish, who was alert to spot him down court.
One of the best ever in basketball in finding a free man down the floor. He threw a rope that time to Larry Bird.
The Bulls lead is 1.
Can't let the crowd take you out of what you're doing.
Pippen with 2 seconds to go. Jordan better hurry. He won't get it off. And the 24-second clock expired.
A appreciate this recognition right here. He sees Bird. Now watch how difficult. That is a hard pass to make, and he did it without following through.
He quickly had to cop that right arm. Larry Bird gives the Celtics the lead. And Boston has made their last 5 shots.
Are these people in it today?
They're in it. Now,
wow.
Can Chicago withstand the crowd and the Celtics and come back in this one?
Got him on a pass-off.
Celtic foul. It'll be their 13th foul. Phoenix leading Cleveland, and Bird picks up his second.
See, Michael Jordan just got his key guys, Grant and Pippen, together here. Let's stay within what we're doing, guys. Let's let lose control here.
Stepping back to three-point territory, and Scottie Pippen hits the three. A patient offense that time for the Bulls, who regain the lead by 2.
See, once again, Michael Jordan down inside the foul line. You have to leave people and help out.
21 for Pippen. Ball knocked away, and they'll call Scottie Pippen. That may be his 4th personal foul, and it is.
Well, Scottie knew it. He went for the steal. You know, he's one of the best that we have in basketball in the steal department. And he patted the referee, and he said, nice call.
4th personal and the 3rd team foul against Chicago. Each team has 3 team fouls. Bird with a 3. Shot by Hodges. What we saw yesterday in the Texas DePaul game.
Up until now, they've been able to answer it. Now, can they do it in the last 4 minutes? The outside shooting has been spectacular by Chicago.
Bulls by 2. McHale, double team now. The open man is Dennis Johnson. And the score is tied.
Inside-out basketball. We're seeing it at its best. One team from the power game out, the other team from the dribble out.
Timeout. We're tied with just under 4 minutes to go. Both of these teams on a collision course, both on winning streaks. The Bulls trying to catch the Pistons in the Central. Celtics only 2.5 behind the Knicks in the Atlantic. Jordan goes in and draws the foul. That'll be the 4th team foul on Boston.
Coming into this game, I thought we would see a little bit more of this Michael posting up, because they have been doing it quite a bit in the last couple of weeks. But you cannot take away from the fact that Jordan kept his ball club in this game in the 3rd and 4th quarter by the penetrations. So you can't have everything.
He has 11 assists and 6 rebounds to go along with his 28 points.
Now, you have Michael down inside working hard with Tennessee. They're not going to call anything there, but here's the foul right there. See, they're giving Jordan, because he's a great player, but also honoring Dennis Johnson as a great defensive player.
He makes them both 30 points and full court pressure by the Bulls.
A little bit of a surprise here now. Why do you do this? To get them out of there, try to run seconds off the clock.
Celtics have made their last 7 shots.
We're down inside of 8 seconds.
Jordan is guarding Bird right now. And Michael will commit his 4th personal foul, and that is the 4th team foul against Chicago. So the next foul by either club will be a penalty.
See, in a situation like that, you wish that you knew where the shot clock was, because you would have allowed Larry Bird to take a perimeter shot.
Remember when Bird was shooting woefully early? Well, he's at 50% right now. He's come on big. Bird gets the rebound and puts it up. Larry Bird now with 34 points, and the Celtics are up, or tied up at 105. Winding down to 3 minutes to go. One-on-one. Jordan, short with it. Grant, though, keeps it alive, and a new clock for the Bulls.
The Bulls, they have to stay active because anytime Jordan puts it down, 3 Celtics are covering him.
Plenty of time on the shot clock. Stacey King playing big minutes here, the rookie in the lineup for Chicago. Here's Pippen to Jordan with 4. Turnaround, blind shot, and King has it knocked away. And it'll be a new clock for the Bulls with 2:33 remaining and a score all even.
Well, the Celtics are frustrated. They're playing excellent defense, but when the shot goes up, give the Bulls their credit. They're doing an excellent job.
Grant passed up the shot. Here's Pippen in the lane. McHale gets the rebound, loses it to Jordan, who lays it in.
Great steal.
McHale had it, and Jordan took it away. And it's 107 to 105, Chicago.
In this league, Pippen is 3rd, and Jordan is 5th in steals.
Told you, Michael Jordan is the best guy they have in any category you name.
Well, if you notice, see, Jordan is great right down in this area. He lets you bring it down, see, and then he strips you. Now, if you notice, he's done that a number of times today, trying to get you to relax by bringing that ball down below your waist.
Celtics have only 1 timeout plus a 20. In a 107-105 game, Chicago in front, and Larry Bird right now is 1 assist away from a triple-double. He has scored 34 points and has 10 rebounds, and that's after a slow start for number 33 today.
Well, it's going to be interesting now because if I'm coaching the Celtics, Jimmy Rodgers knows that Parish and McHale can shoot over the top of the people that they're playing, plus they're going to get double-teamed. Bird is hot right now, and you know you cannot leave him if the ball goes down inside.
Well, he didn't disappoint us. The big stars have come through. Bird with his 34 and Michael Jordan 32. 8 on the shot clock. Dennis Johnson against Hodges. Under 2 minutes to go, and the foul is called. And the Celtics can tie it up. Craig Hodges. They're in the penalty anyway, and Dennis Johnson will shoot a pair.
Craig didn't want the foul, but he did hit him. Dennis Johnson milked that move to death. I mean, he was sure. I really did. I mean, he was determined that he was getting that shot off.
9 points, 9 assists for Dennis Johnson today.
Celtics, the #1 foul shooting team in this league, 82%.
And one of the best ever in the NBA as a team. So we're all tied with under 2 minutes to play. Jordan posting up, wants the ball against Dennis Johnson. Bird collapsed on him. 9 seconds, Pippen off balance, but inside, saving it with the basket is Horace Grant.
Phil Jackson's up 1 to foul that time on that shot, but I think that he'll take it. See, you give the Bulls their credit. They're really getting to the boards.
Bird, long range. Parish chasing, and it's knocked out of bounds, and a pushing foul will be called against Parish. And for Robert, that will be his 4th personal foul. And both teams are in the penalty, so Chicago will shoot.
See, the good teams in this league all hustle and scrap for every loose ball. They never say that the ball is going out of bounds off the and allowing an official, to make a decision. Go get the basketball. That was excellent hustle by Craig Hodges that time.
Phil Jackson taking over for Doug Collins this year. Handled a lot of the defensive plans for the Bulls as an assistant to Doug in previous years.
Well, he was there for a 2-year period, and before that he won the CBA championship with Albany.
The lead is 4. A lot of time remaining. Reggie Lewis has been largely out of the flow today. Into Parish. Parish misses, and we're going to have a foul against Chicago. Perdue defeated Michigan 79-77. Big comeback for Perdue after losing to Iowa this week. And North Carolina upsets Duke 87-75, if you can call any game between those schools an upset.
Well, it's been very difficult over the years for Carolina to beat Duke at Duke.
Miss for Dennis Johnson. Hodges committed the foul. You would know something about the Duke Blue Devils.
Spent 4 years down there. Now, outstanding school, great basketball tradition. I was down there in the old days with Chuck Daly, and we were on Vic Bubas' staff. Probably a legend in the game of basketball.
Quite a staff. In low to Jordan. Jordan gets hammered. They weren't going to let him go up and attempt a shot, that's for sure.
See, Jordan is very upset right now. He's talking, and what he's saying, he's talking to Stacey King, and I do believe what he's trying to tell him is that you got to give me a passing lane. You see, a lot of people think that the penetrator creates the passing lane all the time. But when your man leaves you and goes to help out, you must step up or step back and give me a target to get the ball.
Kevin McHale committed the foul. Jordan makes good, but it's interesting that Stacey King is in there in crunch time on the road against the Celtics here.
Yeah, but you see, in the last couple of weeks, he's been averaging 33 minutes a game and responding with good numbers.
Jordan makes them both. 113 to 108. Opening up a 5-point lead after the score was tied at 107. Bulls have been tough down the stretch. Bird with a fall-away hit. Larry Bird now with 36 points.
We haven't seen this all day. Dennis down court, putting the pressure on Michael.
Lewis not giving Hodges anything. Posting up, now double team on Jordan. The open man is Pippen for a big three. And Bird the rebound, and the Celtics with 30 seconds to go, trailing by 3 points. Here's Lewis. The basket is good, and a foul, and Boston can tie it up. How do you figure it, Hubie?
First of all, that was an outstanding pass. On the elevation, you'll see Dennis make the pass, and now here's the other way of getting the 3 points when you're down. You in this league, when you have 20-some-odd seconds on the clock, that's a lifetime. Get the good, quick basket. You never know when you're going to be fouled.
He missed the free throw, however, and it's still a Chicago lead by 1. A critical miss, and McHale fouls Jordan in a hurry. So Reggie Lewis could have been a hero here and misses the free throw. And now the Celtics hope that Jordan has some problems at the line. Michael Jordan with 34 points today.
See, Kevin McHale did not want any more seconds to go off the clock. Some people might say, yes, but we fouled Michael Jordan. Yeah, but that's okay. The object is now when you get the ball back, you have 19.5 seconds to go.
You can spend 5 minutes looking for the right guy to foul.
Absolutely. All you want is the opportunities to either tie the game and then try to win the game. But you have to tie it first.
Boston calls a timeout. They're going to be left with only a 20. Here's our story with that much time left. Hubie, what do you say?
Well, you see, there are two trains of thought here. Number one, you take the quick 2. If they give it to you, take the quick 2, then try for the steal. And if you don't get the steal, foul. Okay, now, there's one major disadvantage of this. The Celtics only have a 20-second timeout, so they couldn't call a time at the other end and get it to half court. Or do you take the ball inbounds and then try for a 3 right off the bat? Well, I think, me personally, I'd rather go for the 2, try for the steal, and then go for the foul. Now, if they play power basketball and they kick back out and give you the 3, well, naturally, you always take the 3 if it is there.
Because if you take the 3 early and don't make it, you're out of it.
You're out of the game. You want to give yourself a few more opportunities here.
Michael Smith.
Another good 3-point shooter coming in the game. And remember, McHale is a bona fide 3-point shooter.
McHale setting a screen. Here's McHale in 3-point territory. They smother him. Here's Bird for 3, and he's fouled. Pippen. And a technical foul has been called against Scottie Pippen. George Tolliver. Pippen gets hit with a technical. It's very rare that a technical is called in this kind of a pressure situation late in the game.
All right, now you can see what it was obvious what the Celtics did. They came out, they were going for the 3 right off the bat. All right, now the one thing you didn't want to do was foul. All right, you foul, but then you can't afford to get a technical because of the foul, and that's exactly what happened. Pippen is all upset. But look, when the dust clears here, you have to. Now they made the technical. Bird must make the 2 foul shots. You still then would have a tie game.
with 11 seconds.
11 seconds to go.
Bird will be on the line shooting 2 shots. So first of all, it was Pippen who was called for the foul way in the perimeter. It's the last thing you want to do. You can get a 4-point play, and Bird misses. Well, that changes things.
Yeah, Craig Hodges just went over, slapped Pippen on the hip. Hey, come on, you know, that's true.
22nd timeout. The Celtics have used their last timeout. Pippen is a little more relaxed now.
All right, now it comes down. You're down 2. You're shooting 1. Now, do you deliberately miss this shot? And then, because of movement on the lane, a lot of teams practice this now. You have 1 shot to make 2. So consequently, you shoot, deliberately miss it, and hope you get the rebound and score.
Now, how do you miss? Now, what's your philosophy? Do you miss it long? Do you miss it short?
No, well, it depends upon what your alignments are. Some teams hit the front of the rim to get it out, and then they push the rebounders in. Some teams hit the corner of the rim so that it will drop off, and then they sneak a guy from the top down in to get the basketball. Now, there's a number of ways of doing this. Or, there's 11 seconds. They might make this, go down 1, and then try for the steal. If not, foul, because they'll stop the clock and they'll still have 10 seconds.
But they don't have any more timeouts, which affects them.
He made it. All right, now they're going for the steal.
And if they don't get it, they'll foul. But meanwhile, Chicago, which has 3 timeouts left, uses one of theirs now to talk over how they will play it.
Yeah, and why do they do that? Because they now have the option of moving the basketball to half court or taking it at full court. That negates the steal layup.
All right, you know, it's hard to believe that free throw missed by Larry Bird was only his 2nd missed here at Boston Garden since late November, and Boston has no timeouts now. So how are they going to defend Chicago now?
Right now the pressure is on the Celtics to put maximum defensive pressure on this inbounds pass. If you can make the steal, you've got to take it the length of the floor. You're only down 1. You take what it gives you because you do have plenty of time. Now, if you do not make the steal, you foul. All right, so that will put the Chicago on the foul line. They make 1, you're only down 2. They make 2, you're down 3. But you do not have the luxury of a timeout. So you must inbound the basketball and go the length of the floor. Now, why is this interesting? They're taking the ball down in here. What they're doing now is going to spread out the Boston defense and take advantage of foot quickness.
Nealy,
there it
is Horace Grant, and Grant hits the basket.
And a foul on the wing.
Kevin McHale has fouled, and he's gone from the game. He has fouled out. Scored 11 points and had 12 rebounds, and so Chicago set it up. They knew that Boston was going to try for the steal. They got Grant releasing down court.
Now, the reason why they went full court is that gives you 94 feet to pass and run and foot quickness. Now, they got what they wanted, the open floor, but what they wanted was Pippen to get rid of the basketball before he got fouled. Because right now, the pressure is on Pippen here. There's a lot of pressure on him to make 2 foul shots.
You brought out the point. By taking it under your own basket, you risk a steal and a layup, but Chicago was never intending to have that kind of a pass in. They were going long all the way.
They were going long because the Celtics took it away from them coming back to the ball. Now, here we go. This is big-time pressure.
He makes the first. Pippen 66% from the line this year. That's not that good.
That's why this is big-time pressure.
But he makes the first, and that takes a lot of pressure off because with 10 seconds left, Celtics still have no timeouts.
Big key now is if you miss that you don't foul and you pick up. There's your
the second one. Boston down by 2. A 3 could win it. Larry Bird fires up, deflected. 1 second to go. Chicago is going to win the game with 0.5 of a second left. A Boston foul.
How about this? You miss the foul shot, Scottie Pippen. You come down the floor on Larry Bird as he attempts the 3. You block the shot. The young man, let's give him his due.
For a guy who had been kind of a quiet player since the All-Star break, had not been consistent, Scottie Pippen has broken out 22 points and going now with the big defensive play, and Craig Hodges. All intents and purposes, this game is over with 0.5 of a second. Can't do much going full court with that time left. So the Chicago Bulls will make it 8 in a row and snapping the Celtics winning streak at 4. And down the stretch, this game was won on the free throw line as Chicago has hit 9 out of 10 with this one coming up, and Boston had 3 big misses. Dennis Johnson, Reggie Lewis, and then Larry Bird missed one after the score had been tied at 107.
Yeah, and you would never think that, them being the #1 foul shooting team in this league at 82%. But Chicago has been able to come up with the big defensive plays today.
Final score, the Chicago Bulls beat the Celtics 118-114. Our Miller player of the game is Michael Jordan. 36 points. Those 11 assists were big, especially in the third quarter. Miller Lite is proud to present a check for $1,000 on behalf of Michael Jordan to the National Multiple Sclerosis Society. And so for Hubie Brown and Pat O'Brien, Dick Stockton saying so long from Boston Garden. Chicago wins on the road against the Celtics. The NBA on CBS is a presentation of CBS Sports.